there has been a lot of talk over these past few days. Some of our peers in this space who happen to be married to each other each put out their own monologues about the Bernie to Trump pipeline and the nefarious influence of independent media creating this horseshoe theory, this red-brown alliance of the Bernie to Trump pipeline. Well, the Liz Cheney endorsement of Kamala Harris brought to mind a certain other pipeline that exists in certain corners of this space, which is the Bernie to Cheney pipeline. Yes, Robert Reich. We did a segment on Robert Reich a few days ago, and you guys seem to like it, so we'll do another one. This is dated June of 2022, when he wrote a serious piece on his Substack suggesting Liz Cheney for president. Yeah, that's right. Liz Cheney for president. So here is a recording that he did of that article, just the first few seconds.
My friends, I trust Joe Biden's steadiness and judgment. And if he runs again, I'll probably back him in 2024. But today, I want to suggest for your consideration someone who isn't even a Democrat and whose positions on many issues I suspect you strongly disagree with, but who may be the best possible person to be president for the United States at this frighteningly fragile juncture in American history. I'm referring to Liz Cheney. Bear with me.
No, we're not going to bear with you. That's it. That's all the time we have for that. I love this.
At this frighteningly fragile juncture in American history. I'm referring to Liz Cheney.
I'm referring to Liz Cheney.
Bear with me.
No.
Okay, Chicken it, make her gay.
Yeah, exactly. So, Robert Reich, is he exiled from liberal circles for suggesting Liz Cheney for president? Because at the time, don't forget, his rationale for this was, hey, I'll back Biden if he can make it, but he probably can't make it. And so who's a good alternative to Biden? Not Kamala Harris. No. Robert Reich's first alternative to Joe Biden was Liz Cheney. So why don't we hear any of this demagoguing about the Bernie to Cheney pipeline, about the Bernie to Kinzinger pipeline, the Bernie to Bush pipeline, or even the Bernie to Biden or the Bernie to Kamala pipeline? That's much more common. 88% of Bernie voters voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Sure. Why don't we hear about that pipeline? That's the pipeline that I think has done a lot more damage to the discourse than the fact that some of that populist energy inevitably got funneled to Donald Trump in 2016. Double the percentage of Hillary primary voters in 2008 switched to John McCain. You don't hear about the Hillary to McCain pipeline, right?
Right.
We hear about the Bernie to Trump pipeline. This guy, and okay, so there's the other element of this too, because a lot of the people who are on the Bernie to Trump pipeline get accused of grifting. They get well, you're just chasing clicks, right? You're chasing anti-establishment clicks, right? Okay, Robert Reich is not a stupid man. He has revealed himself to be a fascist, an anti-free speech fascist, and a pro-establishment goon, which shouldn't be that surprising. I mean, he was Bill Clinton's economic advisor when NAFTA came to be. But Robert Reich is smart enough to know that Liz Cheney was never going to be the Democratic nominee for president. So it seems like Robert Reich boarded the Bernie to Cheney pipeline for clicks and for views and for subscribers, because surely he knew a headline as provocative as Liz Cheney for president was going to get some eyeballs on it, right? This progressive economic thinker is making an endorsement of Liz Cheney. Oh, wow, I just have to read this. Click, 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 grift, grift, grift. Mm-hmm. But we don't hear much about that. Don't hear much about the Bernie to Cheney pipeline.
Well, if you remember, when I went to interview people outside the courthouse during the Trump trial, I started asking if Liz Cheney, I started saying, there's been some reporting they might draft Liz Cheney to Joe Biden might step down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you baited people with that. Yeah.
I think she'd make a very good president. She's smart. These are anti-Trump people. These were Democrats.
Right.
These people, they don't stand for anything at all. And, as the saying goes, don't blame the player, blame the game. I don't really blame people like Reich. These are just con artists. These are just professional con artists.
Yeah.
I blame people for not asking questions. I blame people for not asking, well, what does that mean? Liz Cheney would be a good president, or that we need to choose somebody from the Cheney dynasty, which did as much to subvert our constitutional rights as any figure in American history has. What does that mean that they're saying this is the person we should put in power rather than Trump? Clearly, it's not concern for the Constitution, or you wouldn't back Liz Cheney. So
Right.
what is the concern about Trump? Putting the Cheneys in power is not a threat to our constitutional norms,
Right.
which frankly are gone partly because of her father.
Yes.
As we are seeing with Danny Shaw getting rousted at the airport, the Patriot Act, and this is what anyone with any sense said, what are you going to do once these things are in place and they decide to start using it against people for domestic subversion?
Exactly.
And here we are.
And here we are. That's right. That's right. That did not take long for that question to be not so theoretical.
Please clap.